Elizabeth Kayanga. I'm the founding executive director of Integrated Disabled Women Activities, IDIWA. IDIWA is an organization of women and girls with disabilities and is committed to empowering women and their families to challenge disability-based discrimination that creates imbalances and inequality in our societies. IDIWA visualizes a society that is accessible and inclusive, where women and girls with disabilities and their families are emancipated and respected and can enjoy rights just like any other non-disabled citizens. Women and girls with disabilities experience heightened discrimination and violence on account of gender and their disability. One of the key programs that IDIWA implements is gender and human rights. This component entails empowering women and girls with disabilities with their human rights so that they can demand them. It also entails engagement with duty bearers and local government leaders to ensure that services that are provided by government and other development agencies are inclusive of the needs of women and girls with disabilities.
I'm Wokovera Shamim, a young girl with short stature. I lead a group of young girls with disabilities and women with disabilities in the organization of Girl Power Community Uganda under the She Leads project that is being implemented by Integrated Disabled Women's Activities, where I serve as a board member. I also serve at the National Union of Disabled Persons of Uganda, that's NODIPO, where I represent the persons of short stature. Looking at the triple nexus of gender-based violence, climate change, and disability. Climate change affects girls and young women with disabilities in different ways. Looking at the seasons that have changed, as I, a child with short stature, moving with a wheelchair, sometimes I feel it difficult to cross the waterlogged roads to go to school. Look at the dry seasons. You have to fetch water. Water supports life, but it's very difficult to fetch water in this season. So climate change, it has affected really girls and young women with disabilities.
Amaina gange ninze Salam Betty nga ninze district councillor akiikirira abakyala abali ku obukosefu. Ife ngaba Kaliro focus tuli ku mulamwa ogwa climate change saawa eno oguliwo ng'abakyala abakosefu. Climate change etukosiisa kubanga awandi amaadhi gayinza okutoona buti bwegatoona ino watuuka awantu aye nga tosobola kutambulawo, awantu awo amaadhi nga gali kulukuta bukulukute ezira asobola kusitula. Kale iwe olina kwewalula bwewalule bw'oba otambulira wansi, olina kukozesa mwigo nga nzaali niikuraki aye ojja okwesanga ng'ogwire. Kale buti bwe tuba nga tusitulire walala omulamwa nga ife aba Kaliro focus ba district councillor netutandika okulwanirira embeera oti neeno.
Ife abantu abali ku olususu olweru bebeeta persons living with albinism, obutonde obw'enaku dino bugiireke butukosa. Mwidukire ife ab'olususu olweru tulakinga ekirungo kire ekirugavu kyebeeta melanin. Ate olw'okuba tuzira kirungo ekyo, omusana gwaka gegwaka gwokya olususu lwaife direct gwakuba munda.
The sunshine has affected me. It makes my body, I feel like the body is hot, and if there is too much sunshine, I can't walk to go and get something, I can't go to school because it will affect me.
When the environment has too much sunshine, I can't see very well in that too much sunshine.
Omubiri gukoseibwa kuba nzira kirungo kirugavu ng'amabuubuuto gaidi amabubuuta ago we gayida olw'okubula ekirungo ekirugavu muvaamu amabwa ago gavaamu ni ku nkomerero gaziga gafuuka kansa atwala essente eningi okumwidandaba ne ku nkomerero we yagaana ke tufiire.
IDIWA carried out consultations with women and girls' disabilities and other stakeholders in the districts where we operate, and we generated a lot of ideas on what can be done to conserve our environment and fight climate change. For example, our communities are engaged in agriculture for their day-to-day activities. That's where they derive their livelihoods. We agreed unanimously that working on environment through improving agricultural methods is a good practice which can improve food security, but also contributing to the environment through using organic fertilizers, using natural ways of intercropping, tree planting, agroforestry.
The dry season really encourages me to advocate for climate change, mitigations and solutions. Because there is a time you move for maybe a long distance that is necessary, but the heat alone, the warmth that comes, it's unbearable. You find it when you are even about to collapse. So it's really affecting us, and it encourages me to advocate for climate change solutions and mitigations.
Benga ba Kaliro focus ba traininga twabegaitako bwe twatandika sustainable farming system ngeri ekasokwe. Ekintu ekyo sustainable banditegeeza akalimiro akali kujja okubaawo aye nga tikafwayo oba kwakasana oba kwa maadi, akalimiro ako nga yemwene okalabirira kuba kali sustainable, osobola okalabirira nga tikasobola kufa. Buli kika kyaivwa osobola okutaamu niga eba mmere kasita kabanga kali awo nga katono osobola okalabirira nga kasobola okyusaako ku mbeerayo either okuli byokulya waka n'ebyokutunda ng'osobola okutunda.
The effects of climate change are felt by loss of biodiversity, but also loss of lands for agriculture. And this has had impacts on the livelihoods of the people because they don't have food in their households. So while supporting women and girls' disabilities to engage in climate-smart agriculture, we expect to see improvements in food productivity, livelihoods, but also in household income generation, because when they produce enough, even from very small pieces of land, they are able to have food and they can sell the surplus. With this, they expect to make great contributions to carbon emissions reduction and also generate their own income from the sale of seedlings.
Ife ngeife abawala balina obukosefu ku mibiri gyaife twavaayo n'igino emisomo IDIWA gyegire ng'etusomesa ku mbeera y'obwire. Awo we twavaayo ngeife abawala ba Shirids wansi mu IDIWA twasalawo okusimba emiti. IDIWA yavaayo yatufunira ekifo, yatufunira n'omuntu asobola okutraininga okusimba gino emiti, yatufunira n'ekifo waliwo tusobola okuba nga tukolera nasale bedde ife tunedde okusimba emiti. Trainer waife yaidanga nga IDIWA amutaamu sente, fena nga amutaamu sente okwidde okutwegesa engeri gye bataamu emiti egyo mu buveera, engeri gye bafukiriramu, engeri gye babutaamu mu layini.
Nize ni bawala bana ife tuli kusimba emiti okutaawa obutonde obwensi.
We are planting trees and encouraging people to plant trees to promote gender-just climate. These trees are sources of medicine, they are sources of food, and if it shines too much, these trees protect us, girls living with albinism. We can get somewhere where to sit if there is shade.
I want people to start planting trees because when the environment has trees, there is not too much sunshine.
Emiti gyaife gye tusimba tusuubira okuba nga gireeta embeera ennungi eyo n'amaali gatoona n'ekitundu kyaboneka bulungi kuba ekitundu ekiba kirimu emiti kiboneka bulungi. Era tusuubira nti mu myaka egiyidanga 5 ku 10 mwiganga banabanga batwidi nga oyenda okusimba emiti bakulagirira gye tuli waida wagula emiti era wasimba.
Some of the challenges that we experienced as we were making consultations about climate change and its effects on women and girls with disabilities, it came out very clearly that women and girls with albinism were experiencing very difficult challenges. A number of them had suffered skin cancer and they were undergoing treatment. We are also experiencing a problem with families not having enough food to eat because the land is not very productive anymore. Women and girls with disabilities have to travel long distances in search of water, in search of firewood, and this makes them to stay long hours outside in the fields. In the process, they have become victims of violence, they have been raped, and they end up with unwanted pregnancies and sexually transmitted infections.
Currently, we have been able to advocate for policies amendments, putting policies in place and then amending those ones that need to be amended. I'll start with the Eastern District Ordinance and the policy on disability. We have been able to input things that we see that can help us as girls and young women with disabilities in our communities, in schools, and anywhere that we are in to ensure that we fit in the communities.
The biggest challenge that we are facing so far in advocating for gender-just climate is where women human rights defenders, those that are defending human rights, are being threatened as they go preaching about conserving the environment and the wetlands. So other than the threats on women human rights defenders, people in the community and the local leadership are generally supportive. They have come in to conduct the trainings and support the households to engage in climate smart activities.
Nze nga ku lwange mpulira buti bulungi kubeera nali nkaluba n'amazima nali nkaluba ng'omukyala aliko obukosefu nga nkaali kubona nga tiddi nawa waakulumukira aye buti saawa eno engeri yenjiire nga mbyega mpulira emirembe okwira ku side ya climate change. Abakyala bano njire nga mbakubiriza kuba abandi baidi nti emiti gino gya kutunda kuba mbakubiriza ino mugezeeko okusimba emiti mu maka gaimwe kubanga ekiseera kyona kyona mubone empewo ekuba buti nga n'empewo bwebeidi waire omuti gwange mutono aye enumba yange at least eba eri gundi eri safe. Kale ebyo ku climate change ndikubiriza abakyala abali ku obukosefu n'abatali nga bali awo nga bali able bodied okusimba emiti era bwe bawulira nga omulanga nti guno gwa kusimba miti nga district nekoze eri kusimba ku nguudo batuyambe emiti egyo batagiiba batagitema batagiriisa bisolo.
I would like to see that trees are planted in our schools, on the way, in our community, so that they provide shade for us. And I encourage the leaders, the MPs, to support others to plant those trees.
A failure to eliminate violence against women and girls in climate change action has effects on mitigation, adaptation, and resilience building efforts. And as incidences of violence against women escalate in our communities, there is a big risk of women and girls with disabilities not enjoying their rights. There is a big risk to their safety and security. I want to encourage the public, the local leadership, the duty bearers to come up and support the girls and buy their seedlings. They are doing a very good job contributing to environment conservation.
With much emphasis,
We plant trees to promote gender-just climate.